and gentlemen, please settle down. The minister has arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged to have with us today our chief guest for the day, Shri Shripad Yesso Naik, Minister of State of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, Tourism, Government of India. A huge round of applause for him, please. May I also request Mr. Srinivas Tempo, President AIMA and Chairman Tempo Group of Companies, Mr. Nikhil Sani, Senior Vice President AIMA and Vice Chairman and Managing Director, Triveni Turbine Limited, Mr. Vishesh C. Chandiyog, CEO Grant Thornton Bharat, and Ms. Rekha Sethi, Director General, All India Management Association, to join us on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause for all our special speakers on the dais today. Thank you. May I now request the Minister and other dignitaries on the stage to kindly light the traditional lamp to mark the inauguration of AIMA's 67th Foundation Day and the 17th National Management Day celebrations. Thank you. May I now request Ms. Rekha Sethi, Director General AIMA, to deliver the introductory remarks.
Shipping, Waterways and Tourism, Government of India. Mr. Srinivas Tempo, President AIMA and Chairman Tempo Group. Mr. Nikhil Sani, Senior Vice President AIMA and Vice Chairman and Managing Director, Triveni Turbines. Mr. Vishesh Chandiyog, CEO, Grant Thornton Bharat. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to have you all with us today, and thank you so much for joining us in celebrating AIMA's 67th Foundation Day, which is also celebrated as the National Management Day across the country. Honorable Minister, it is a privilege to have you with us, and many thanks for agreeing to address AIMA and present the AIMA Foundation Day Awards. You're a veteran parliamentarian and minister, and currently you are spearheading the transformation of India's tourism and water transportation sectors. A visionary and accomplished leader, you have made a big impact in whichever ministry you have looked after. Thank you for joining us today in this celebration of management. Srini and Nikhil, it is great to have you with us on this milestone day for AIMA. Many thanks for your leadership. Vishesh, thank you for joining us and for all the hard work put in by you and your team in helping us arrive at some outstanding awardees who would be honored today. Today, I'm so pleased to see that we are joined by many of AIMA's past presidents, council members, LMA leaders, and friends of AIMA, both physically and virtually. On the live stream, we have the program on live streamed on AIMA's social media channels, so COVID has given us something positive. And we have many people who have joined us virtually also for this event. It is a real pleasure to have all of you, especially those of you who have made the effort to be with us today, this morning, and we are grateful for your sustained guidance and support. A very special greeting to each of AIMA Award winners. Mr. Narayana Murthy, you do AIMA proud by joining us today. Thank you for your continued support to AIMA. It means a lot to us. We are also delighted to have with us Mr. Bankar Roy, Mr. Dilip Aspe. It's a real pleasure to have you both with us. Thank you so much for joining us. I also welcome Mr. Rajesh Suryakant Chauda, Mr. Krishan Sonthalia, and Mr. Sanjeev Bet Mangalkar. It is AIMA's privilege to honor you, and we appreciate that you have joined us today and added to AIMA's Foundation Day celebrations. We are missing presenting the AIMA JRD Tata Leadership Award today due to unavoidable circumstances, but this will be presented this year at the AIMA's Leadership Conclave and Managing India Awards on 11th April, and I hope many of you will also join us for that. Ladies and gentlemen, AIMA has served the country with distinction for nearly 7 decades, and today the organization renews its pledge to grow AIMA's management capital and make Indian management the best in the world. Economy and business have undergone many changes in these past decades, and AIMA has constantly reinvented itself to produce contemporary management talent and bring the latest knowledge and practices to India's management leaders. Now, the world is undergoing another major shift, and leaders are navigating through great uncertainty. It is only fitting that today we consider the issues emanating from this churn and look at ways to manage the unprecedented and harness the uncertainty. We are privileged to have some of India's best leadership minds with us today, and we look forward to learning, a great learning from them. With these words, a very warm welcome to all of you once again, and thank you so much for joining us on AIMA's special day. Have a good day.
May I request Mr. Srinivas Temple, President AIMA, to deliver the welcome address.
Very good morning to all of you. Respected Honorable Minister of State for Ports, Shipping and Waterways, Tourism, Government of India, and a man I have known for the last 3 decades, because he also hails from my state, that is the state of Goa, who I call Shripad Bhau. His name is Shripad Naik. Nikhil, Rekha, Vishesh, distinguished award winners of today's Foundation Day, council members, delegates, and my friends, ladies and gentlemen. Rekha has already welcomed you, but it's equally my pleasure and privilege to add to that welcome, and I must thank you for joining us in celebrating AIMA's 67th Foundation Day, which is also celebrated as the National Management Day. Honorable Minister, it's a real privilege to have you with us on the AIMA platform for the very first time, and I'm truly grateful for you agreeing to address AIMA and our members on this happy occasion. As I said earlier, I have known the Honorable Minister for almost 3 decades now. He has been having an unbroken record of getting elected for the 5th time in the North Goa Lok Sabha constituency. And what is unique about this man is his connect with his electorate, with the people of Goa. And I'm very, very happy that he could join us today and be with us at AIMA. He is heading 2 of the most important ministries as a state minister, that is basically central to India's economic growth and soft power. Under your visionary leadership, guided by the Honorable Prime Minister, India's tourism and water transportation are gaining prominence in India's economic growth strategy. I was just talking to him about Goa's new prized airport called the Mopa Airport. Many of you all may be aware that Mopa has just opened up. And Shripad Bhau had struggled and toiled a lot to make this dream into a reality. We are looking forward to hearing from you, sir, about how tourism and transportation are integrating and transforming this country. I also welcome AIMA's past presidents, some of them who are here, our council members, AIMA fellows, members of AIMA and LMA leaders who have joined us in this celebration to celebrate Indian management. We are delighted to have you with all of you with us. I'm also happy to welcome all the awardees for today. You make us proud, you make India proud, and we are very, very privileged to award this well-deserved recognition to you. I'm also happy to welcome members of the media who always help us to propagate the cause of management in this country. Today's event is made special by the extraordinary achievers, as I said earlier, who have graciously accepted AIMA Awards. I warmly welcome each one of our distinguished awardees, and I'm looking forward to discussions with them that will follow the award presentation. AIMA's Foundation Day celebration is an occasion to mark another milestone in the organization's long journey of more than 6 decades and to set course for the next destination in its ceaseless quest for management excellence. As I said, for nearly 7 decades, AIMA has played a central role in propagating new management thinking and practices across the country and democratizing management knowledge and know-how. Today, on this National Management Day, we once again renew our commitment to nurture and promote Indian management and to further upgrade our efforts to impart, validate, and propagate the latest management expertise. As always, AIMA celebrates its Foundation Day by recognizing outstanding excellence in business, leadership, public service, management writing, and small business innovation. We also use this very occasion to highlight the most important management issues of the given time. Given that we are living through a phase of regular shocks and surprises, which is becoming normal, the overarching theme of this Foundation Day is managing the unprecedented and harnessing the uncertainty. The emphasis really is on finding ways to use the anxiety for quick and meaningful change instead of getting bogged down by it. There are many strands in this fog of uncertainty, but technological churn, geopolitical friction, supply chain reorganization, climate change fight, policy volatility, and the lingering fear of another pandemic are some of the major ones. Leaders have their hands full today during the best of times, but today they're getting pushed and rushed in many directions. It's easy to recognize the need for a reset, but it's hard to set new directions and reconcile all the priorities into unified goals. Amid this maddening complexity, leaders did not just reset their compasses, but they need entirely new ways of navigating the course. Leaders need to cut through the ever-growing noise and focus on the essentials to build their own certainty in this age of anxiety. The fear of missing out is affecting everything, right from consumer behavior, business decisions, politics, policy making, and technology adoption itself. This is also a big period, big swings in perception, passions and preferences, and any pause puts one at the risk of being run over by sudden stampedes. There are too many variables to allow simple, straightforward decisions, and it's hard to form a reasonable consensus in the current environment. All this, ladies and gentlemen, is making business leadership extremely complex and challenging. Technological revolution is the most pervasive and persistent source of radical change and uncertainty. Amid a confusing proliferation of new technologies, there are some that are destined to be more foundational than fashionable because of their steady development and broader application. Data-centric technologies, such as machine learning and artificial intelligence, are rapidly becoming useful for extracting clarity and certainty from noise and all the confusion. Then there are more longer short technologies, such as the future, the metaverse, that will take a while to mature, but will definitely have a major impact on all businesses and their behavior. Instead of waiting for such technologies to disrupt the normal, what the leaders require to do today is the need to start learning and piloting those now. Business leaders need to start thinking more like explorers and mere caretakers and venture into the unknown armed with educated guesses and reasonable strategies. Constant watchfulness combined with the courage to go first applies not only to technology adoption, but also to supply chain reorganization, new market exploration, and forming global innovation and commercial networks. To build, uncertainty offers some major advantages over certainty. During stable times, leaders and organizations devote themselves to linear growth. However, when jolted by shocks and uncertainty, leaders and organizations are forced to acknowledge the need for new revenues and capabilities. Uncertainty makes people more experimental and entrepreneurial. Uncertainty is an opportunity by itself, and one must not waste the moments of uncertainty. Today, we have an opportunity to learn from our distinguished award winners who have been, on many occasions, have really defied the normal and got into such high-performing jobs, high-performing activities that they stand out today and is a role model for many of our younger generation and management students. I consider myself very fortunate, and all of you are, for an opportunity to learn from our distinguished award winners, and I'm sure that you will enjoy today's conversation. Once again, a very warm welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Mr. Demple. May I now request Mr. Vishesh C. Chandiyo, CEO of Grant Thornton Bharat, to deliver the Knowledge Partner Address.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, very good morning. Minister Naik, Rekha ji, Vice President, President, Mr. Srinivas Dempo, Nikhil Soni, my good friend. Ladies and gentlemen, very good to be with you this morning. You know, as CEO of Grant Thornton Bharat, absolutely delighted to be associated with these awards. Our role really is to help AIMA look at the long list and identify people who need to be recognized. You prepare a long list, and then from that, pull together a short list in front of a very high-powered jury that makes the eventual decision. And I think you will see with some of the awardees today, I hope we've been able to do justice to that role. Now, today's topic is managing the unprecedented, harnessing the uncertainty, right? The unprecedented, managing the uncertainty. And, you know, we can talk about a lot of things that are going on, you know, the war out there, the supply chains that got disrupted. We can talk about, of course, this big report that came out recently that everybody's talked about, and that's affected many things in India. But I would only say, let's not pass judgment too quickly. We've been associated with some of the biggest alleged corporate frauds, ILFS, DHFL, etc., investigating them, hopefully not contributing to them, investigating them for the boards, regulators, etc. Let things play out is all I'd say. But I think eventually, in my learning through all those, various alleged corporate frauds, etc., governance is the ultimate differentiator. It is the ultimate value creator, and it is the ultimate value destroyer over the long term. Short term, there could be different things, and I can't say this enough in the presence of Mr. Narayana Murthy. He will, of course, touch on some of this. Of course, the biggest unprecedented event that I had to manage, and Nikhil told me, don't use the word, was the once-in-a-generation event, once in the last 100 years, what happened, right? The lockdown that followed that event. And what did I do as a leader? That's what I can share, when I had to deal with the unprecedented, manage uncertainty. We looked at two principles. The first principle was people over profit when that event happened. Was people over profit. And that's because I made mistakes when the global financial crisis happened. But I learned from those mistakes. Management is about learning from your mistakes and not repeating the same mistakes again, but also coming up with principles that will become the guiding force. So we said people over profit. Nobody will lose their jobs. Nobody will see a pay cut. The partners will absorb that until partner earning goes down to zero. Because a leader's job is to give confidence during those uncertain times versus add fuel to the fire. The second principle we adopted was ultra flex. And we said, whatever the gains that are going to happen because of this new way of working, we have to ensure that we don't lose those gains. We have to imbibe the ultra flex principle forever. And therefore, we became the first firm, I remember in April 2020 itself, to take the call that we'll give up 25% of our offices. We could always rehire offices if we needed, but let's not wait. In May 2020, we said we will adopt hybrid working forever. So work from anywhere forever. Shortly thereafter, we said, now that we are operating in this environment of trust, why can't we say it'll be unlimited leaves forever? Why do people have to have only those statutory leaves? It'll be unlimited leaves forever. People can take leave when they like. And we're moving away from just output to output plus outcome. We then moved to ultra-flex dress code. We said, why do people in consulting and in our sort of business need to put on a tie and suit and jacket and woolen suits in our weather? If everything worked okay during the pandemic, dress smartly, but leave it to you how you want to dress. And hence you can see some of our choices. And I think all that, many other things are following that. We're piloting a 4-day work week, piloting other things currently, but we don't have time for that. I know you want to hear from the minister. I can only tell you the result of that has been getting recognized as one of India's top workplaces by Great Places to Work. Our employee net promoter score has gone from +7. The question you ask employees, would you recommend Grant Thornton as a place to work? That was +7. It went from +7 4 years ago to +34, from +34 to +41, and this year was +74. In the last 4 years because of some of those things we did. And really all of that comes down to one thing, which is putting the employee at the center, not just the organization. Are you putting the employee at the center and willing to share the benefits first in the interest of the employee versus only benefits flowing one direction towards the organization? I can't take more time of yours, but really one example of managing the unprecedented, harnessing uncertainty, I'm going to share with you, ladies and gentlemen. Please enjoy the rest of the proceedings today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chandiyo. Ladies and gentlemen, on this occasion, we also present AIMA Awards of Excellence to distinguished professionals for their outstanding contributions. We will begin with the presentation of the AIMA Dr. J.S. Juneja Award for Creativity and Innovation in MSMEs. Let us watch a short video to introduce the winner of this year's award. A 10-year-old enterprise, Shri Sahajanand's Automech Private Limited, has grown into a successful engineering and system design company. It has registered patents related to water distribution systems for dust suppression and firefighting, such as a hydraulic mist cannon and a fully automatic hydraulic mist cannon truck. It is among the first Indian companies to supply fully robotic firefighting units. Having established itself in the domestic market, the company has reached out to markets in the US and Europe as well. All India Management Association is pleased to confer the AIMA 2022 AIMA Dr. J.S. Juneja Award for Creativity and Innovation for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises on Shri Sahajanand's Automech Private Limited, Jamshedpur, through its founder and managing director, Mr. Rajesh Suryakant Chawda, and Mr. Kishan Sonthalia, joint managing director. May I request the Honorable Minister and the other dignitaries on stage to kindly come forward to present the award. It is my privilege to also invite Dr. J.S. Juneja to join the dignitaries on stage for the award presentation. To receive the award, may I invite Mr. Rajesh Suryakant Chawda and Mr. Kishan Sonthalia to come on the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for the winners, please. Congratulations, Mr. Chawda and Mr. Sonthalia. We now come to the next award, which is the AIMA Dr. Ram Traneja Award for Best Article in Indian Management. Let us watch a short introduction video, please. A seasoned lean transformation expert, he is the founder of Stratman Consulting. He has helped many Indian and foreign companies with their transition to lean manufacturing and contributed to improvements in their performance and value delivery. He has held leadership positions at several companies, including Roots Multiclean, Tex Maco Perkasa, and Mysore Kirloskar. A keen writer, he has put together case studies that are used as reference material by academia and industry. His article, published in Indian Management Journal of AIMA, made a case for eliminating waste, solving problems, and making improvements through developing competence and influencing behavior. All India Management Association is pleased to present the AIMA Dr. Ram Tarneja Award for Best Article in Indian Management to Mr. Sanjeev Bet Mangalkar, founder, Stratman Consulting. Congratulations once again, sir. We now come to the next award, which is the AIMA Public Service Excellence Award. This year, the jury has decided to present the award to two winners. Ladies and gentlemen, let us watch the introduction video of the first winner. An outstanding technology innovator and administrator, he has transformed money and finance in India. He has played a central role in creating multiple digital public good platforms that have made transferring and tracing of money easier and cheaper for the regulator, the government, the business, and the ordinary people of India. An inveterate innovator, he has led the designing, building, and operating of several banking and financial services initiatives, such as the IMPS, Aadhaar-enabled payment system, Aadhaar Payments Bridge, or the Direct Benefits Transfer Platform, RuPay, Electronic Toll Collection, or the NETC or FASTag, and the game-changing Unified Payments Interface, commonly known as UPI. All India Management Association is pleased to present the AIMA Public Service Excellence Award for 2022 to Mr. Dilip Aspe, Managing Director and CEO, National Payments Corporation of India. Congratulations, Mr. Aspe. May we request you, sir, to kindly share a few words with us for a minute?
So I'm very delighted to receive the award on behalf of NPCI in the presence of our first chairman, Mr. Narayana Murthy. And while there are many better professionals to lead NPCI, I would like to thank RBI, the government, the NPCI board, the vibrant payment ecosystem of banks and fintechs, and last but not the least, NPCI employees for letting me to be the part of this fascinating and path-breaking journey of NPCI for last 14 years. And let me tell you, we have just started, and as for our great nation, we are aspiring to get to billion payment transactions a day. And I think the day is not very far. I thank AIMA and the juries for honoring NPCI with this award. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aspe. Congratulations once again. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move on to the second winner in this category. Let us watch the introduction video, please. A man on a mission to help rural communities become self-reliant, he has transformed millions of lives. He has brought water, light, education, livelihood, healthcare, and technology to the poorest population by devising simple rural solutions. Coming from a privileged background, he learned about rural struggles and potential while deepening wells in the deserts of Rajasthan. He learned the significance of traditional knowledge, practical skills, and village wisdom while developing poor rural communities, a learning that led to the foundation of the Barefoot College in Thilonia. Over a period of 50 years, he has established that villagers can be self-sufficient and live with dignity. His work has been globally acknowledged with several national and international awards. All India Management Association is pleased to present the AIMA Public Service Excellence Award on Mr. Sanjeet Pankar Roy, the founder of Barefoot College.
This is just to say thank you very much, Minister, and the AIMA for this great honor. And on behalf of all the rural poor that we work with all over India and Rajasthan, this would be something that we will definitely cherish. Thank you.
Congratulations, Mr. Roy. Ladies and gentlemen, the final award for the day is the AIMA Lifetime Achievement and Management Award. We will again watch an introduction video of this year's winner. A pioneer of India's global IT services and the founder of Infosys, he has been the benchmark for entrepreneurship and business governance in India. He conceptualized, articulated, and implemented the game-changing global delivery model. Always an investor in talent and innovation, he turned Infosys into a leading center of technical, management, leadership, and innovation training. He is associated with prominent educational institutions in India, America, Japan, France, Spain, Brazil, Singapore, Thailand, and the Philippines. A business leader with Indian characteristics, he has believed, preached, and practiced compassionate capitalism. He has set high standards for corporate investment in employees, community, and the country. He has been honored with awards the world over for his contribution to the technology industry, business leadership, international relations, and humanitarian initiatives. All India Management Association is privileged to present the AIMA Lifetime Achievement Award for Management to Mr. N.R. Narayana Murthy, founder, Infosys.
Well, I'm extremely grateful to AIMA for this kindness, this generosity, and this affection. It is indeed a great privilege to be given this award at the same time that we are honoring Sri Bankar Roy and my former colleague Dilip Aspi. Both have transformed the country in their own ways, extremely beneficial. So compared to what these two have done, whatever little I have done appears insignificant. However, all that I can promise is that I will continue to work hard and hopefully smart in the remaining years of my life. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for all our winners of the day. To commemorate the Foundation Day, we also will be releasing AIMA's 67th Foundation Day souvenir. May I request the Honorable Minister and the dignitaries on stage to kindly release AIMA's Foundation Day souvenir. Thank you, sirs and ma'am, for doing the honors. If I may now request the Honorable Minister, Shri Shripad Yesso Naik, to deliver the inaugural address.
Namaskar. Good morning to all of you. Dignitary Srinivas Dempoji, it is a pleasure to be with you and congratulations on the All India Management Association 67th Foundation Day to all of you. All India Management Association has been a catalyst of management evolution in the country, and it is only fitting that this day is also commemorated as the National Management Day. We are a catalyst of Indian emergence as a global knowledge service, power, and you have become the synonymous with Indian IT industry. We have also been instrumental in changing Indian management ethos, and we have been a pioneer of stakeholders capitalism. India's global image has been transformed because of excellence of leaders like you. Many congratulations on your AIMA Awards. Mr. Narayana Murthy, it is a privilege to present the AIMA Lifetime Achievement Award to you. Mr. Asbe, you have been in hidden hand behind the digitization of banking and finance in India. Away from the public eye, you have been developing and implementing the digital payment and transfer solution that now touch the lives of nearly all Indians. Now your expertise is in great demand around the world, and many countries want to replicate the digital infrastructure and service that you have developed. Congratulations on your AIMA Publication Service Excellence Award. My compliment also to the other recipient of the awards today. Congratulations, Sri Sajanand Automac Private Limited, on receiving the AIMA Dr. J.S. Unija Awards for Creativity and Innovation in Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. The MSME sector is a foundation of the economy, and I appreciate that the smaller enterprises also. Congratulations also to Mr. Sanjeev Baitmangalkar on receiving the AIMA Dr. Ram Taneja Award for Best Article in the Indian Management. We need to only outstanding entrepreneurs and managers, but intelligent business thinkers also, observing the analyzing and critiquing what is going on is foundational to progress. My compliments to AIMA leadership on doing an outstanding service to the country's economy since the early days of independence India's industrialization. AIMA has worked relentlessly to build the India's management capacity and develop Indian management thinking through changing times for nearly 7 decades. During the COVID also, AIMA was quick to reinvent itself as a fully digital organization, and it is enabled management students and corporate executives to continue their education and training despite the closure of the classroom and convention facilities. I am pleased that AIMA is alive to ongoing disruption and transition in the economic environment, and it is providing timely and productive thought leadership to India's managers at all levels. AIMA's theme for its Foundation Day, managing the unprecedented, harnessing the uncertainty, encapsulate the prevailing concerns of the Indian management leadership, and I appreciate that AIMA is trying to help the Indian enterprises navigate the prevailing fog of the economic and business environment. The government of India is also alive to the impact of the recent disruption and the continuing the uncertainty on the economy of the country. The Union budget for 2023-24 clearly commits itself to strengthening the economy, and it reflects the government's commitment to provide some certainty in this time of uncertainty by showing the consistency in fiscal and industrial policies. Each ministry is working on innovative policies to make the Indian economy more productive and resilient. Can experts its national marketing and promotion opportunity to fire up the global interest in not only investing in India and buying from India, but also in visiting India. Tourism has been throughout the extremely rough couple of years, and this job-intensive business can do with a large dose of impetus. The G20 events will be held in about 50 cities all over India, a country, and that would generate the plenty of international traffic, which in turn will provide a great impetus to the ongoing upgrading and unscaling of the tourism facility beyond the metropolitan cities. The showing the global economy is also expected to drive the international tourism. Is particularly committed to the domestic tourism. Indians need to get to know their own country and culture. Moreover, the lesson of the pandemic are clear, and India needs to achieve self-reliance in the tourism industry also. The best way to make the India tourism sector resilient is to make the tourism more a routine than an event. There is a clear circuit-oriented approach to the attracting tourists and developing tourism infrastructure and services. The circuits are focused on particular religious, cultural, personality, and geographical interests. For example, the coastal circuit and the Himalayan circuit would appeal to the sightseeing and the nature tourists, whereas the pilgrimage and the leader-specific circuit would appeal to a different set of travelers. Infrastructure is a foundational to tourism, and in government is committed to adding and improving the transport connectivity. For example, the Goa is set to get a huge boost in both industry and tourism because of its new Mopa airport. Now, air travel to and from Goa would not be a pain point for visitors. The Mopa airport also set a new trend by creating the infrastructure for a flea market on the international airport, where local artisans and traders would be participating. Tourism service and also critical for attracting and sustaining the tourist interest. A sticky tourism destination must offer the pleasant sights and smells and safety from crime. Goa is setting an example in this area by stamping out the drug use and street-side cooking by visitors, while also trying to promote the taxi service. The Ministry of Tourism is taking a four-pronged approach to making Indian tourism thrive in these uncertain times and build a base for future explosive growth. These pillars are multimodal connectivity, enhancing the tourism infrastructure and services, streamlining the branding and showing the local culture and heritage. It's a hope that this strategy would not only attract the foreign tourists to more destinations in India, but also encourage Indian reach to see India also, and not just the exotic places abroad. Uncertainty is unsettling for sure, but it is also a great opportunity to try the unprecedented. Anxiety can be also be liberating, and it can be used to develop the new strategies and management approaches. I'm sure that with AIMA showing the way, Indian enterprises will come out stronger from this phase and contribute more to the overall growth of our country. I compliment AIMA once again for its Foundation Day, and I wish the organization the best. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for your insightful address. May I now request Mr. Nikhil Sani, Senior Vice President, AIMA, to deliver the concluding remarks.
Shripad Yesso Naik, Minister of State for Ports, Shipping and Waterways and Tourism, Government of India. Srinivas Dempo, President, AIMA and Chairman, Dempo Group. Vishesh Chandiok, CEO, Grant Thornton, Bharat. Rekha Sethi, Director General, AIMA. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to deliver this vote of thanks and conclude this session. Honorable Minister, it's been a privilege to have you with us, and many thanks for agreeing to join us in celebrating AIMA's 67th Foundation Day. We deeply appreciate your acceptance of our invitation to address India's management fraternity and present the AIMA Award for Outstanding Achievements in Management. Today, we're joined by over 5,000 people who are logging in to AIMA's social media channels, and of course, this will be recorded and many people, many thousands more will view it at a later date. Thank you also for this inspiring address and sharing your vision and strategy for building infrastructure and promoting tourism in the country. The government is doing an outstanding job in developing ports and shipping, as these would be crucial to India becoming a manufacturing hub of the world. The efforts to develop coastal shipping and waterways are very laudable as well, because those would expand the transportation capacity while reducing potential emissions. India's tourism economy has tremendous potential for spurring entrepreneurship, creating jobs, and contributing to India's soft power. We applaud your initiatives to redirect India's well-off tourists from foreign attractions towards India's domestic exploration. In this year of India's presidency of G20, the country's tourism industry will play a big role in showcasing India's evolution under this government and in projecting India's new economic and cultural aspirations to the world. It's been an absolute pleasure having you, and many thanks for talking to us and giving away the AIMA Awards. I congratulate the recipients of the AIMA Awards for making an outstanding contribution to the cause of Indian management, and I thank them for their gracious acceptance of the awards. Mr. Murthy, it is AIMA's privilege to honor you. Thank you for joining us and receiving the AIMA Lifetime Achievement Award. I also look forward to our conversation in the next session. Mr. Roy and Mr. Apse, many congratulations on your AIMA Public Service Excellent Awards. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to your conversation with Srinivas later in the program. I also compliment the recipients of the AIMA J.S. Juneja Award for Creativity in Innovation in Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, and the AIMA Dr. Ram Tarneja Award for the Best Article in Indian Management. Many congratulations to Shri Shahjahan's Automech Private Limited and Mr. Sanjeev Bedmankalkar. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this session, and I request you to rejoin us after the break for conversations with our award winners. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sani. May we request the AIMA President, Mr. Srinivas Dempo, to present a token of our appreciation to the Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, a token of your appreciation also with a huge round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, the souvenir just released is available in soft copy as part of our Go Green initiative. You can download the PDF of the souvenir by scanning the QR code on your delegate badge. We will now be taking a half-an-hour break for tea and coffee. I request you all to join us back here at 11:30 sharp.
AIMA works as an overall India-wide organization for management. It has for long supported, promoted, and nurtured the management movement, and it's also reached overseas to try and connect the world with India as well.
So whether you're a young student out there or whether you're a practicing professional, I think being a member of AIMA will give you a huge network, will give you a huge range of new concepts, and it gets you access to events where you really get to meet some of the best and the finest speakers in the country from whom you can learn.
You know, every manager needs to be updated in terms of the latest techniques, the latest thinking, the latest direction. You update yourself in various aspects of disciplines that one is involved in.
Continuous skill development, continuous education is a necessity for everybody.
AIMA has been known for its testing services. For instance, the management aptitude test, which is very popular, of late catering to admissions and also to recruitment services.
Is not just the desire for success, but a fear of failure.
AIMA is some an institution that all of us are proud of. We are proud of its legacy, and we are proud of the role that AIMA plays in society.
Serum Institute was founded by a true visionary, Dr. Cyrus Poonawalla, in 1966. As he says, it is our endeavor to make quality vaccines more affordable around the world, because we firmly believe that health should be the right of every child. Today, the company is the world's largest manufacturer of vaccines by number of doses, and a testimony of the quality is the fact that the company's vaccines have been accredited by the World Health Organization, Geneva. 1967 saw the first manufacturing operations for tetanus vaccines in the company that was formed with the aim of manufacturing life-saving immunobiologicals, of which there was a shortage in the country and which were being imported at high prices. Today, the company's product portfolio encompasses a wide array of recombinant, conjugate and combination vaccines. In response to the ever-increasing global demand for high-quality, affordable vaccines, the company is constantly adding to its setup of dedicated, state-of-the-art manufacturing plants, sophisticated laboratories, and high-tech quality and R&D departments, which undertake cutting-edge research projects that endeavor to make the world a safer and healthier place to live. The colossal production output, which will soon find its way across the planet, is stored under carefully monitored environmental conditions in huge storage bays. The huge blending vessels of 3,000 liters capacity produce vaccines to the tune of 1 million doses a day. Fully automatic, high-speed vial washing, filling, stoppering, and sealing machines ensure both the highest quality standards and quantity of the output. AIMA Institute has the largest computerized facility around the world for lyophilization of parenterals. Focused efforts on the international markets, mainly through WHO, UNICEF, the Pan American Health Organization, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, etc., have enabled the company to export a wide variety of vaccines and anti-sera to over 170 countries around the world, notably to Asia, Africa, and South America, and also to the CEE and CIS states. The company has been instrumental in saving millions of lives across the globe by supplying billions of doses of vaccines at short notice to control epidemics and also to cater to mass immunization campaigns. The future holds a lot of promise as we are committed to introduce newer technologies and products to contribute to the making of a healthier world. The company will continue its relentless pursuit of trying to conquer diseases. While the accolades come as milestones on this humanitarian journey, Serum Institute of India is steadfast in making Dr. Cyrus Poonawalla's dream come true. Serum Institute of India. Protection from birth onward.
AIMA works as an overall India-wide organization for management. It has for long supported, promoted, and nurtured the management movement, and it's also reached overseas to try and connect the world with India as well.
So whether you're a young student out there or whether you're a practicing professional, I think being a member of AIMA will give you a huge network, will give you a huge range of new concepts, and it gets you access to events where you really get to meet some of the best and the finest speakers in the country from whom you can learn.
You know, every manager needs to be updated in terms of the latest techniques, the latest thinking, the latest direction. You update yourself in various aspects of disciplines that one is involved in.
Continuous skill development, continuous education is a necessity for everybody.
AIMA has been known for its testing services. For instance, the management aptitude test, which is very popular, of late catering to admissions and also to recruitment services.
Is not just the desire for success, but a fear of failure.
Check. 1, 2, 3. Test. 1, 2. IMA is an institution that all of us are proud of. We are proud of its legacy, and we are proud of the role that IMA plays in society. Check. 1, this is. Check. 1, this is. 1, 2. Sound check. Check. Sound. Check. Hello. Sound check. Check. 1, this is. Check. 1, this is. Test. Hi, Scotto. Sound check.
Serum Institute was founded by
Okay. Sound check. 1, this is. 1, 2, 1. Hello, sound check.
As he says,
Check.
it is
1, this
our
is.
endeavor to
1, 2.
quality vaccines
अब ठीक है बोल दो, ठीक है,
affordable
छोड़ दो।
around the world. Because we firmly believe that health should be the right of every child.
Check. 1.
Today, the company is the
1.
world's largest manufacturer of vaccines by number of doses. And the testimony of the quality is the fact that the company's vaccines have been accredited by the World Health Organization, Geneva. 1967 saw the first manufacturing operations for tetanus vaccines.
1,
the
2.
company that was formed with the aim of manufacturing life-saving immunobiologicals,
1, this is.
of which there was a
You okay?
shortage in the country and which were being imported at high prices. Today, the company's product portfolio encompasses a wide array of recombinant, conjugate and combination vaccines. In response to the ever-increasing global demand for high-quality, affordable vaccines, the company is constantly adding to its setup of dedicated, state-of-the-art manufacturing plants, sophisticated laboratories, and high-tech quality and R&D departments, which undertake cutting-edge research projects
Check.
endeavor to make the world a safer,
Hello, sound check.
place
1,
to
this
live.
is.
The
ठीक है, अभी इतना लो।
production of
Check.
it, which
1,
will
this
soon
is.
find its
1.
way across the planet, is stored under carefully monitored environmental conditions in huge storage bays. The huge blending vessels of 3,000 liters capacity
Check. 1,
produce
this is.
vaccines to the tune of 1
Hello,
million doses a
check.
day. Fully automatic, high-speed vial washing, filling, stoppering, and sealing machines ensure both
Check.
the
1, this is.
highest quality
1, 2,
standards
1.
and quantity
Sound
for
check.
the
1, 2.
Our institute
2.
is the largest computerized facility
Check. 1, this is.
for
Test.
lyophilization of parenteral
1,
focused
2,
efforts
2.
on the international markets, mainly through WHO, UNICEF,
Check.
the
1, this
Pan
is.
American
Test.
Health Organization,
Test.
the
1,
Bill
2.
and Melinda Gates
Check.
Foundation, etc., have enabled the company to export a wide variety of vaccines
Check.
Teixeira to over 170 countries around the world, notably to Asia, Africa, and South America, and also to the CEE and CIS states. The company has been instrumental in saving millions of lives across the globe by supplying billions of doses of vaccines at short notice to control epidemics and also to cater to mass immunization campaigns.
Hello.
The future
Hello,
holds a
sound
lot
check.
of promise
1,
as we are committed to
Hello, sound.
introduce newer technologies and products to contribute to the making of a healthier world. The company will continue its relentless pursuit of trying to conquer diseases.
Sound check. 1, this is. Test. Check. 1, this is.
As milestones on this humanitarian journey, Serum Institute of India is steadfast in making Dr. Cyrus Punawala's dream come true.
Check. 1, this is. 1, 2. 1, 2. Check. Hello, sound check. 1, this is. Test. 1, 2, 1. ठीक है.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be starting in 5 minutes. So if you've had your tea and your snacks, it would be nice if you could take your seats now, please. So we again begin in time.
Serum Institute of India. Protection from birth onwards.
And AIMA works as an overall.
Request everyone to kindly take the seats, please.
It has for long supported, promoted, and nurtured the management movement. And it's also
We have
used
Mr.
overseas
Narayana
to try
Murthy
and connect the
session
world
next.
with India as well.
So it will be nice if he comes into a hall that's fully seated and waiting for him.
Check.
Our guests and delegates who are at the back still having their snacks, we save some space for lunch. Come and join us in the main hall. We only have a couple of minutes left, so please sit down, everyone. Thank you.
Check. 1, 2, test. Check. Check. 1, 2, test. 1, 2, test.
Our friends and delegates are requested to kindly take their seats, please. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to begin. Welcome back to the next session of the day. Our next session is on the theme Scholar, Founder, Reformer, a life spent changing lives. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Narayana Murthy has joined us on stage. Please welcome him with a huge round of applause. We have with us for this session on stage Mr. Narayana Murthy, founder Infosys, Mr. Srinivas Dempo, President AIMA and Chairman Dempo Group of Companies, and Mr. Nikhil Sahni, Senior Vice President AIMA and Vice Chairman and Managing Director Triveni Turbine Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly take your seats, and may I now request Mr. Nikhil Sahni to kindly take the session forward.
Thank you very much. Very good morning to everyone. Could I request you to take your seats, please? Mr. Narayana Murthy, founder Infosys, Srinivas Dempo, President AIMA and Chairman Dempo Group, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to have you with us and a warm welcome to all of you in this special session with one of the best known and most respected Indian business leaders around the world, Mr. Narayana Murthy. Mr. Murthy, it's a privilege and an honor to have you with us today, and many thanks for agreeing to have a conversation with us. A very warm welcome to you. AIMA is celebrating this Foundation Day in the backdrop of continuing flow of unprecedented events and persistent uncertainty. New crises are unfolding all the time, and businesses are forced to constantly review their assumptions and strategies. Amid unending turbulence, it is no use hunkering or tinkering, and the best option seems to see opportunities in the unknown and use faster adaptability as a competitive edge. As we contemplate the ways to deal with great uncertainty today, we are pleased to have a man of vast experience and wisdom who has come through many storms and turned adversity into an advantage. Mr. Murthy, many congratulations on receiving the AIMA Lifetime Achievement Award for Management today. You've added to the prestige of this award, which has been bestowed on some of the cream of India's transformative Indian managers over the last decades. Today, it was entirely AIMA's privilege to have bestowed this award upon you, and thank you for accepting the award and for joining us today to talk about the multiple avatars of a scholar, a founder, and a reformer. You've had an exciting career which has been full of challenges as well as achievements. Your first venture failed, but you bounced back, and how, with Infosys. Your career is now part of a folklore, and you have inspired educated young Indians to turn entrepreneurs. You've created India's first salaried millionaires, and you have catalyzed the massive popularity that engineering now enjoys in the country. You are also Digital India's link to its bullock cart past. You learned and worked on computers when those were not the norm, and you were the globe-trotting Indian technologist much before globalization became a term. You've been a pioneer, a founder, a builder, and a beacon. And in this session, we would like to learn about this and from your stories. Ladies and gentlemen, I would conduct this question and answer session. It's my great privilege to conduct this question and answer session with Mr. Narayana Murthy. And if we have time, I would like to open the floor to questions from the audience. So I would just request you to have your questions ready, and we would like to take 3 or 4 together at the end at the same time. So Mr. Murthy, my first question to you is about how you view success through your different ages of your life. You've had multiple different avatars, from starting a startup which didn't succeed, and then joining Patni, then to start Infosys, and now as really a beacon and a role model. How do you define success, and how has that changed over a period of time? What can our students and managers here learn from that?
Well, first of all, Nikhil, before I answer that, let me say that it is absolute pleasure to be with the son of Dhruv, a good friend of mine from whom I have learned a lot, with whom I have shared so many wonderful hours at CII, on trips to UK and other places. And it's so nice to see the next generation of Dhruv, being smart, efficient, competent, and all of that. Second, it is also an absolute pleasure to have interactions with Rekha ji, because Rekha has been a pillar of this institution, while of course Srinivas and others have been steering this institution along with Rekha. It's more than 25 years since I first met her, and we conducted the AIMA session in Bangalore. Anyway, now Ralph Waldo Emerson defined success as bringing smile onto the face of people. And he said many other things. But I have taken that is, if you can bring smile onto the face of people when you enter a room, that is a big success, because those people are not expecting anything returned from you. That is a very genuine emotion. When people smile, as psychologists say, they feel happier, they feel relaxed, their mind is rid of jealousy, their mind is rid of hatred and all of that. So I would say that all along my life, thanks to my mother, who was almost an unpad mother, that is, she had gone only to middle school. She said the same thing as what Waldo Emerson had written, and that is, if you can do things so that it makes people happier around you, that's the biggest success you can expect. That's what I would say.
Well, thank you.
That has not changed.
No, it's so telling for people who are joining us online that you missed the throngs of people who surrounded Mr. Murthy as soon as he walked into the room and everywhere that he goes. It really is you do bring a smile to everyone's face, because we've seen you practice what you preach in a sense, and you've been able to transform lives of so many people in multiple different ways, not only as an employer, but as a philanthropist and in multiple different avatars. But Mr. Murthy, if I could come to a next question, which is on values. You've been a very key proponent of values and corporate governance. Of course, you talk about the need for it in every different form. But a question was brought up earlier about what is the luxury of thinking about corporate governance for SMEs who are struggling to survive? How do they wear the hat of corporate governance? And do you see that inextricably linked with success, and how they would be able to maximize their chance of succeeding in the future?
Well, it's very important to understand that values are the foundation on which a company can demonstrate longevity. You look at any institution in our country or outside, whether it's Tata's or whatever it is, they have all demonstrated a certain value system. And they have been in business for 100 years plus. If you look at in the US or in Europe, the companies that have demonstrated longevity are the ones with a certain set of good values. So values do not cost you much money. However, many of us feel that in the short term, it means overcoming some speed in completion of the task, or accepting some loss of business. All of those things are in the short term. But in the long term, or even in the medium term, even the most corrupt fellow, I have seen from my own experience, wants his children to have good values. I don't know of any single father in India or abroad who says, beta, you become a chore. Nobody has said that. So therefore, when you demonstrate values, those people who are habitually used to taking bribes and all of that, internally they start developing respect for you. So therefore, I would say that values are extremely important, whether you are small or big. I want to tell you a story. One day, in a house, I believe there's a husband and wife and a small child. The wife was very unhappy with the father-in-law, that is the father of the man. And one day the man got very upset. He said, tomorrow I'm going to bury my father. She said, okay. So morning they got up early. He told the father, we are going to the forest. And the father came, and they had a small child, 3 or 4 years old. So the child also said, I'll also come with you. They went. And they went into the middle of the forest. And the man told the father and his child, please wait here. I am going to dig some hole. So he started digging. Then the child came to him and asked him, Papa, why are you digging this hole? So as I told you, every father wants to be honest with one's children. So he said, no, I want to bury my father. So then after some time he found that the child was also starting to dig a hole. So he said, Arey beta, kya kar rahe ho? Tum kya kar rahe ho? What is this? He said, no, you are burying your father, so I am going to bury my father. So the point I am making is this, that if you want to develop values, you cannot say that I will reach some $1 billion or $10 billion and then I will start practicing values. That's why every mother, every father tells their children right from age 1, saying, beta, be honest, work well, study well, don't waste your time, etc., etc. So my suggestion to all the wonderful entrepreneurs is that values have to become an integral part of your life and not a function of how comfortable you are, how big your company is, how rich you are, etc. And one of the manifestations of values for a corporate person is good governance, that is, good corporate governance. And the main culprit of corporate governance is creating an asymmetry of benefits between the owner managers and the rest of the shareholders. And what most owner managers who violate corporate governance, what they do is they use the resources of this company, listed company or big company, in which they hold a certain percentage of shares into building up another company where they hold 100% of the shares. That's the biggest, throughout the world it has been established that related party transactions and building up of another company where the owner manager owns 100% from the resources of a company where he or she holds whatever, certain percentage. That is the biggest thing. And that depends on the value, because the value system says that I cannot enrich myself at the expense of the other two here. The moment, that's what every parent says, that's what every teacher says. So I would say that if we have a strong value system, it is difficult, there is no doubt about it. I'm not saying we can all become gods. God is the only person who will not commit any mistake. But we all commit. But in the early days, when we commit small things, small mistakes, if we were to correct ourselves and say we will not do it again, I think that's a great thing.
Thank you for that very inspirational reply. It truly puts things into very correct perspective for all of our audience and all of us. Mr. Murthy, while there are many questions, I'd like to come to some of your personal experiences, as what you've said that you were a reluctant capitalist, and post your bitter experience in the communist regime in Bulgaria, it cured you of your socialist romanticism. The way that we've seen capitalism play out is with huge inequities, where wealth is sustainably multiplying for some, and at the same time, while a lot of people are coming out of poverty, the disparities only seem to be getting wider. Do you believe that the form of capitalism, and I know with your experience in multiple different fora, from stakeholder capitalism, etc., do you think we need to relook at this, and how do we relook at this? Is it an individual movement? Is it something that we do as a collective? Or do we tweak the model that we're in right now and very frankly go to some universal basic income model?
You know, I am now firmly convinced that the only way you can solve the problem of poverty in a country is through creation of jobs with better and better incomes for everybody. Second, I am also convinced that it is not the responsibility of the government to create these jobs, but it is the responsibility of entrepreneurs to convert an idea into jobs and wealth. Third, it is the responsibility of the government to create an environment where there is incentive for these entrepreneurs to create more jobs and more wealth. By reasonable taxation, by creating an environment where there is honesty in the government, there is no unnecessary harassment, etc., etc. Now, the motivation for all the people assembled in this room to adhere to good values cannot be the outside pressure. Yes, sometimes peer pressure does help, but the biggest force is, as Mahatma Gandhi said, is the small inner voice, that is your conscience. You know, let me tell you a story of Kanakadasa, who was a great saint from Karnataka, my home state. One day, his teacher gave a plantain each to all the children in the class, and he said, you know, will you people go to some place where there is nobody and eat this plantain? So after half an hour, they all came back, and everybody had eaten the plantain, banana, but Kanakadasa had not eaten. So the teacher asked him, what happened to you? Could you not find a place where there was nobody? He said, sir, God is everywhere. God is watching all of us. So therefore, the biggest force for good is self-motivation. The moment you say that this is the right way to do and this is not the right way to do, and you follow the right way, then automatically, you start with small things in life. You don't have to start with big things. One of the things that I feel very uncomfortable coming to Delhi is, this is one city where indiscipline is the highest. Let me give you an example. I came yesterday from the airport. At a red signal, there were so many cars, so many motorbikes, scooters, violating the red light without a single care. I think if we can't even wait a minute or two just to move forward, do you think those people will wait if there is money? Of course they won't wait. So therefore, I would say that all of us have done it. So we start teaching our children to demonstrate these things in small areas, in areas where there is small return. The moment you get used to following the right path where there is small return, then your mind becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. Then you will gradually improve towards resisting temptation where there are big returns. So I think that is where parents, teachers, they have such important this thing. Let me tell you the story. I'm sorry I'm taking a little bit of time, but stories stories convey, these things much better than just words. I had a teacher in my high school called K.V. Narayan. He was a very tough teacher, extremely tough. And he used to teach us chemistry. And one day, and I used to sit in the front bench. One day he came to the class, the last period, whatever, 4:15 to 5 p.m. And he was trying to conduct an experiment where he had to put sodium chloride, common salt, into a test tube and then add some acid or something, I don't know, whatever, I have forgotten. There was a friend of mine sitting next to me by name Anant Srinivas Prasad, and he burst out laughing. So Shri K.V. Narayan stopped the experiment and he came to him and said, "Young man, what was it so funny about what I was doing? Children are generally more honest than elders." So this young man of 14 years, he said, "Sir, you are so stingy with common salt, which is so cheap." Then he said something that formed the foundation for my principles, for the primary principle of corporate governance. He said, "Look, young man, this common salt belongs to this school. It belongs to you, it belongs to this class of 60 students, it belongs to section B, section C, it belongs to second year, first year, etc., etc. It belongs to all the teachers. It is community property. Therefore, it is my responsibility to be very careful about how much of common salt I use, because I have to treat common salt very carefully." He said, "On the other hand, at 5 o'clock, the school closes, you come with me to my house, I will give you a glass jar full of common salt free, because that's my personal property." That taught me an unbelievable principle. That is, you should treat the community property better than your personal property. all the issues of dishonesty in public governance system comes because they don't follow this principle.
Thank you. I think there's a desperate need for us to look at public goods and
Yeah.
to all adopt it and treat it with respect. And to be educated in that is immensely important from a very young age.
You know, interestingly, I was with my grandchildren last week, and they remarked, they're only 9 years, whatever. They said, why are you people not looking after your commons well? Why is it all so dirty? These are the children of 9 and 10.5 years. So what I'm saying is, it is all about how we parents have to teach our children to look after commons, to look after public good. Your father is a good example of how he used to tell me all these things. So I remain grateful to him.
Thank you for that. Mr. Murthy, I'd like to ask a question that I think is on everyone's mind. What would you, well, we all know that you have many productive years ahead of you, as you rightly said while accepting the award, that you would do it to the best of your ability and whatever's put in front of you. But what would you like to be known for? What would you like to be remembered for? What is your legacy? Because you have, as a father, brought up wonderful children who have succeeded, and the values that you've inculcated in them are hopefully those which they will cherish. As an industry leader, you've created wonderful institutions which everyone has benefited from shareholders to employees to the users. You've transformed an industry, and so the country has benefited and the world has benefited. And also then as a philosopher, you've been able to stress on certain areas which really have given people food for thought. So what do you think is there one aspect, or is there multiple aspects that you'd like to be known for?
Well, Nikhil, I don't want to be known as a nice person in the Indian parlance. In India, if you are a nice person, what it means is that even if somebody is stealing something, you keep quiet and smile. I don't want to be like that. I stand up and very respectfully comment if it is not proper. However, I want to be known as a fair person. What it means is, fairness is following the golden rule, that is, do unto others what you want them to do unto you. The good thing about fairness is, in a transaction, if a party loses, the other party loses, that party would leave the table saying that if I had better data, if I had done the right thing, this man would have supported me. So therefore, I try and use data and facts as much as possible. And I don't mix up acts with personalities. In other words, I don't hate a person, but I hate that act. So I want to be known as, here lies a person who tried his best to be fair. That's what.
Thank you. Mr. Murthy, before I open it up to the audience for questions, I'd request mics to go around. I'd like to ask a question as a technologist, as someone who led the technology movement in India. There's been so much talk about artificial intelligence and movements towards ChatGPT. I took the opportunity to ask ChatGPT what questions I should ask you. And one of the first questions that came up was to ask Mr. Narayana Murthy about what is the future for technology. So I thought that that's a good place to ask you a question while we gather some audience who may wish to ask questions as well.
You know, science is about unraveling the nature while technology is about using the power of science to make life for human beings more comfortable, have better entertainment, improve productivity, solve hurdles, problems, etc., and reduce cost, etc., etc., improve quality, etc. It doesn't matter which technology you want to look at it, right from the time wheel was invented, long time ago. Every one of these technologies made the life of human beings more comfortable. Where the computers made our life more comfortable in certain areas, then artificial intelligence has made our life more comfortable by becoming assistive technologies. I think there is a mistaken belief that artificial intelligence will replace human beings. No. Human beings will not allow artificial intelligence to replace them, because human beings have the power of mind. For example, no computer, as we know, can equal the mind of a child. Such experiments have been conducted many times. So as long as we use artificial intelligence in an assistive manner, I mean, Chandra, the chairman of Tata Sons, has written a book, right, Digital, that's about how you can use artificial intelligence in an assistive way. So I think countries like India should use artificial intelligence, big data, IoT, cloud. Cloud, of course, is somewhat passive, in a way that will make the life of human beings more comfortable, reduce cost, and improve productivity, etc. So the future technologies will continue to aim at providing more and more free time to human beings, but no human being will be satisfied with the free time, because human beings will start thinking of new things and they will become more and more busy. That's what has happened, right? We thought at one point of time that all these computers will make us more free. It has not happened. We thought that mobile phones will make us more free. It has not happened. We can't move away from our mobile phones. That's the reality. That is because human mind is the most flexible instrument that ever exists in the world, in this planet. And it also has higher and higher aspiration. So doesn't matter what technology you will invent, the human mind is always a step ahead and becomes the master of that technology. So I personally feel that the focus of technology will be on making the life of human beings more comfortable, more productive, less costly, etc., etc.
Thank you. That's a future we all look forward to, not getting more busy, but hopefully solving a lot of problems through technology. Can I have can we take the mic to some audience questions? We have a lot of hands up. We'll only have one round of questions. If I could ask you to just state your name, please, and we'll take 3 or 4 questions at the same time so that Mr. Murthy can answer them together.
Thank you. Sir, my name is Vishesh Chandyok. I was on the panel earlier. What a privilege listening to you. And, everybody talks about values being, something best told through stories. What a wonderful lesson in those stories and how to communicate values. My question was going to be on work-life balance, Mr. Murthy. That's something that's been at the fore in the service industry for a number of years. Post the pandemic, I guess people have been talking about it even more. What has work-life balance meant for you personally? Is it, the separation between work and life? Is it integration? Is it something else?
Well, I think this is a good question. Maybe I will answer this straight. About 15 years ago, I think that was the year when I received the Economic Times, whatever it is, Business Person or Lifetime Achievement, I don't remember. And there I was talking to K.V. Kamath, my friend K.V. Kamath. And he said, work-life balance is important, but before that, we have to have a life. What he was meaning was, from the perspective of people assembled in this room, yes, work-life balance means something. But when you look at that in our country, we have about 800 million people who need the help of the government even to get 2 meals a day, right? They need to fill their belly first. They need to make sure their children have something to eat before they go to the school. They need to make sure that their children can get at least 1 shorts and 1 shirt a day. I think for them, work-life balance becomes more of sustaining one's life. So therefore, let me come back to our own milieu. I think to me, work-life balance is about working as hard as possible. I used to go to the office at 6:20 in the morning. 6 o'clock I used to leave home because I realized in the morning, children are also busy. They have to go to the school, all of that. So I had no time with them. 6:20 I would be in the office. I would leave the office by about 8 o'clock and back home by about 8:40. And then either I would have dinner with the children and have nice conversation, and then they would ask me some questions about their studies or whatever. Of course, mother looked after their studies and all of that. Or we would take them outside to eat their pizza or whatever they wanted and have an intensely pleasurable conversation with them. So I have looked at it as the pleasure from work, if I can equate it to pleasure by interacting with my family as an equal thing, even though the time I spent with the family was much less than the time I spent at work, I think that would satisfy. So that's what I have tried. That's not to mean that I didn't find pleasure at work. What it means is I tried to work very hard towards making the small amount of time that I spent with my children and my wife, etc., extremely happy to them and to me.
Sir, it is Dr. Divakar Goel. I am Chairman of Aero Academy Aviation Science and Management.
Sorry?
I am Dr. Divakar Goel, Chairman Aero Academy Aviation Science and Management. Sir, my question to you, sir. Today what we are seeing, IT sector in progress and success during last 20 decades at the cost of manufacturing sector. I interview the guys, what you are doing. I am IT consultant, working with so many companies, Infosys or IBM or TCS. What you have done? Chemical engineering. Other person says mechanical engineering. Other person says chemical engineering. Why the young childhood, the young engineers, what you are making, because of employment opportunities in the IT sector, we are losing the manufacturing sector. The country needs mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, production engineer, agriculture engineer. What is the fate of other branches of engineering as the success of IT sector is going leap and bounds?
Well, again, when I said I am a compassionate capitalist, that translates to a very fundamental principle, that is acceptance of market as the final determinant. Now, the reality is, look at it as a parent first. If your child were to come to you and then say, I have this job which gives me this much of salary, the opportunity to go to different countries, versus this job that gives me less salary and the opportunity to go abroad is not there. Which one would you tell your child? I would say, at least in my case, say, beta, it's good to go and see another country, travel there, and who knows, you may get an opportunity to solve difficult problems there and the salary is reasonably good. Now, let me tell you what the IT companies say. They say these investment bankers and Wall Street fellows, these financial guys, they are giving such high salaries. And number two, they're saying all these multinationals who have come to work, to start captives in IT area, they're giving much higher salaries compared to the Indian companies. So this dilemma will always be there. The only thing that you and I as leaders of companies can do is to first demonstrate to the youngsters that trying to solve difficult problems in an environment of happiness, a family environment, respect, dignity, etc., is better than just looking for money. I will tell you, sorry, I keep telling stories, but they are very important. In 1969, we were only 12 students who had majored in computer science at IIT Kanpur. Now, I had a job in Telco, Tisco, then HMT, Air India, and Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. I loved the opportunity to go to IIM Ahmedabad to head their to be newly formed computer center, because they were bringing the first time-sharing system into the country, but there was a catch. Their salary was half that of Tisco, Telco, etc. They were all giving 1,600 rupees per month, and IIM Ahmedabad was giving me 800. I sent a telegram to my father, of course, short telegram, and he was not a rich man, so he shot back quickly saying that, talk to your teacher, that's all. So I went to Professor Rajaraman, who was my professor, and he said, look, this is the age, you are 22 or so, this is the age for learning. There will be an age for earning, and that earning will be a lot more if you learn more now. So I would advise you to go to IIM Ahmedabad. And I took that decision, and that's the best decision in life I have taken. So teachers can play a very important role. So I followed my teacher, and I don't regret it. So this problem will always exist. If not IT, some other will come, some other thing will come. So my suggestion to all the heads of chemical engineering, electrical, civil, etc., is to make their job more rewarding in terms of happiness, in terms of success, etc. And also see if you can provide some productivity linked bonus, that kind of stuff.
Good afternoon, everyone.
I'm sorry.
This is Manjul.
Just a second. Mr. Murthy, we're running out of time, so we're just going to take the last two questions. The gentleman who has the mic, Mr. Juneja, and then I'll ask Srini to wrap up. So if you could be brief.
Right, sir. Mr. Murthy, other day Sudha ji said, everyone should draw enough is enough in his her lives. So what's your enough is enough? Sir, kindly tell. Other day Sudha ji said, everyone should draw enough is enough in his her life. So what's your enough is enough?
Maybe Mr. Juneja, could we get your question as well in please at the same time?
What?
Enough is
Enough is enough. What to do in life? What is your limit?
Everyone should understand their limits in life.
Oh, no, I understood the question, but that sentence itself didn't make much sense
Could we
to
just
me.
take Mr. Juneja's question as well at the same time?
Okay, yeah.
Sir, you are like a godfather for good business, good governance. I want to know what is your message to micro, small, medium enterprise. That's all.
Well, I'll first answer his question and then, because these two are not related. You know, there is no end to greed, but there is always an end to one's need. Those, if you look at the friends of your son or daughter. There are families who earn probably 20,000 rupees a month. There are families who earn 20 crores a month. I don't know if you can say that the children whose parents earn 20 crores a month are happier than the children who earn 20,000. So I think the way to sort that enough is enough and what is the limit, that the only way you can answer that question is whether I, as one of the parents in the family and my wife, are making our children find happiness in the house and a purpose to do whatever they are supposed to do every morning, and whether they are learning good values. I think that is what, to me, is sufficient. If we can teach our children values,